I just can't work with gloves. Anyway, you want to do an accordion fold in your fabric. Just back and forth. I did a bunch of t-shirts the other day. I will post that. I just haven't done it yet. I don't know how to edit. I'm new at this. So we're just learning together. If there's anything that you want me to try, let me know and I will check into it and see if it's possible. So my daughter's getting married in August, which is coming up, 2018, in California, in Venice Beach is where she lives. So I will be flying out there, and I've been making lots of different things for her wedding, which has been really fun, especially since I live in the Midwest, and so it's kind of hard to be too involved in the preparation of her wedding. But I'm doing things here, and I will be taking them out with me when I go. Now, this gauze, I'm just, like I said, I'm folding it back and forth, like that. And I've already wet it because it's a thin piece and it was easy for me just to go ahead and wet. A lot of times I'll do my folding and then I'll wet it after I put it in the rubber band. So now what you want to do is you want to do it this way, again, with the accordion. There's several different ways you can fold Shibori. So you can look online and get all kinds of ideas and different folding methods. It's a really fun, interesting Japanese. It's kind of like tie-dye, but it's the folding method's a little different. And it's ancient. They say over 1,000 years old that the Japanese have been doing Shibori. And Shibori, typically, that what we see is done with indigo dye. And it's blue. But I'm going to do orange. I've done blue and I love it, but I'm going to do orange. So, peach, actually, to go with my daughter's wedding. So, her colors are blue and peach. So, you just put the rubber bands on to make a little parcel like this. You see how nice that. And you just accordion fold one way, and then you turn it and accordion fold the other way. Okay, now I'm going to put my gloves on. I'm not very good at putting gloves on. Just can't seem to work with these on. But I'm going to try it today. Okay, so here's my dye. I've already mixed it according to the package. I did want to show you one thing, though. When you mix your dye, if you put a paper towel in before you start to dye, you can kind of see the color. It's pretty true to color. Now, if you think it's too light or too dark, you can add more dye or more water. Okay. So, that's just an example to show you what your dye will look like and give you a good indication before you actually start to dye. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this in there. All wrapped up, my little parcel. And I'm just going to, since my bowl is not really deep enough, I'm going to move it around. And it depends on how long you want to leave it in will determine the color, the depth of the color. It'll be darker or lighter, obviously, the more time it spends in the dye bath. So just keep that moving around. Just wipe my hands off a little bit. And you can see. Now, someone asked me the other day about my backdrop here. These are actually acrylic pours that I've done on canvas. And I just thought I would do that as a backdrop instead of you looking back and seeing my messy basement. But we can do acrylic pours if you want to do that online. Just let me know if that's something you'd like to learn. Here is a couple of tiles that we could do They're small and very simple, very fun, very easy to do. I did a lot of tiles for my daughter's tables, and then we put the number of the table on the tile with a stencil, and she's using these tiles for her table numbers at her wedding. So I think that that's probably dark enough for me. Now when you take it out of the rubber bands, it's going to be rinsed. You can rinse it now, actually. But every time you rinse it, you want to get all the excess dye out. And it will lighten it as it dries, as well as when you rinse it, obviously. So, you know, it might look a little dark. You're like, oh, no, that's too dark. But it will lighten up as you rinse it. And then once it dries, it lightens up as well. Quite a bit, actually. Yeah, quite a bit. So, leave it in there as long as you want. And let's wring it out. I'm going to move this over. And then I'm just going to rinse it in a bucket of water. And okay. I'm going to rinse it a little bit. You're supposed to rinse it until you don't see any more dye. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my gloves off. Such a pretty color. I really love it. I mixed this color. The dye that I used is just really inexpensive fabric dye. And you can get it from your fabric store, craft store, or, of course, order it online. And the company that I order from, the dye that I use, you can mix. They have several colors, but then if you want a specific color, you just look at their chart and you can mix it. So I mixed 3 different colors to get this color. And there you go. Isn't that pretty? Yep. So you can see, have you open it up. And this is, like I said before, it's very thin gauze. It's like what you make cheese out of or use in the kitchen. Or people use it at